What's up, everybody? This is Cam. This is Cam Fats, aka Cam Jennings, coming at you on behalf of EpicConversions.com. Just want to check a couple of levels here, really quick, guys. Make sure that I am firing on all cylinders. I think I'm good. I hope you guys are doing amazing out there, guys. You know, it is Saturday afternoon. It's about 3 p.m. and I want to talk today about like this idea of internet marketing and is it too competitive? Is internet marketing too competitive? Is there too many people here? Is it too stressful? Is it too competitive to even make money here anymore? Right? I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. I've been here for a little while, so I have a lot to say about the subject. Let me just take a drink of this real quick. I've got my afternoon tea. I hope you guys are doing well. The first thing I would say, guys, let me just say this, okay? I have had this on my chest for the last couple of days. This doesn't have anything to do with what we're getting ready to talk about, all right? But let me just get this off my chest, okay? The other day I was talking about YouTube, all right? And I was talking about YouTube's new ad policy, all right? In case you don't know what that is, YouTube has basically changed their ad policy to where they're going to monetize all the videos on the platform. But if you're not in their partner program, like if you're not currently able to receive money from YouTube for their ads program, then what happens is they're going to take all the money for your videos, right? They're taking all the money. Now, this is quite a change. And here's what I would say about that, okay? I think every single small creator out there on YouTube, now look, guys, you'll hear a lot of people, a lot of YouTube gurus. I got a Facebook user who tells me internet launching is too competitive. Man, we're going to talk about it in a few seconds here. We're going to talk about it. I just want to get this off my chest about YouTube. All I want to say about YouTube is this, okay? If you're a small creator out there and you're creating videos on YouTube, all right, and you're not big enough to be monetized yet, right? Like you don't have 1,000 subscribers on your channel, because this is what it takes to be monetized on YouTube. You need at least 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and you need at least 4,000 hours of watch time over a 12-month rolling period. That means it rolls. So you need to maintain 4,000 hours of watch time, right? So what that means is you need to build a little bit of a following. All right, that's fine. That's what YouTube has declared. They declared this in 2018. But if you're a small YouTube creator out there, and you might not meet those requirements yet, here's the question you should be asking. And here's the question all small creators should be asking YouTube. All right, if we are not good enough to be eligible to be paid for our videos via AdSense, then why are we good enough for you to monetize our videos and take all that money for yourself? What little money it is. If you've deemed us too small to be worthy of monetization, then why have you deemed it something to do to go ahead and monetize our channels anyway and take 100% of the money for yourself? Those two things contradict each other. They don't make sense. The only way they make sense is if you do matter, however, they just want to take all the money. It's like leveraging power. You know what I mean? This is YouTube leveraging power in a way that they have never done before, right? So I think all small creators need to wake up and pay attention to that. It's quite the power play. And it does not benefit small creators. It does not benefit big creators. I'm not going to go into like why it doesn't benefit big creators, because I did that last time. Now, we got Facebook users saying, you own the platform, you make the rules. And that's absolutely true. I agree with Facebook user on that. He's right, or she's right. You make the platform, you make the rules. Doesn't mean those rules are fair, though, right? And it doesn't mean you have to stay if something's not fair. I think all small creators need to be asking themselves, was that a fair move, right? There's only one reason why, and I can tell you my opinion. My opinion is that was not a fair move, right? It's not a fair move to say, hey, you're not important enough for us to pay you, but you are important enough for us just to put ads on your videos and we'll take all the money. That's not a fair move. All right. Now, the only reason that a company would feel like they could get away with something like that is if they feel like they're so big, they have no competition. They're so big that you won't go anywhere because they're the only game in town. That's the only reason why they would get away with something like that, right? So I think all small creators need to ask themselves why YouTube feels that they are too small to allow them to be monetized, but big enough for them to put ads on their videos and take all the money. That's what you need to ask yourself. And if you don't like the answers you're coming up with, and if you don't like the way things are going, I implore you to maybe look for other alternatives besides YouTube. It might not be, I personally don't feel like it's quite the opportunity that it used to be. I feel like when companies start playing by those kind of rules, things are getting weird. You know, that's what I think. It's not just the rule change, man. It's a way of looking at people. It's a way of looking at people. And in my opinion, that move is a direct disrespect to the creators, point blank. So that's what I think. You have to look at it how you want to look at it. They answer to their shareholders, not users. Yeah, good point, man. Good point. The other thing I would say, this, guys, and I don't want to like downplay anybody who is specialized in YouTube marketing, but listen, guys, when it comes to this particular situation, I don't know that you need to be very careful who you listen to on this topic. All right. And the reason why I say that is because when you have people who have completely specialized in YouTube marketing, you're going to be really, really hard pressed to get an honest answer from them that says something negative about YouTube, right? You're going to be really hard pressed to get them to say something negative about something that they have completely went all in on. So just keep that in mind. I think, be smart. Ask your own questions when it comes to that policy change. It doesn't make sense. Why is the channel not big enough to allow us to monetize it, but it's big enough for you to put ads on it and take the money? It doesn't make sense. So like, there's only one way that makes sense, and that's because, you're leveraging your power to do so, and it has zero benefit for the creators whatsoever. Anyways, I'm done talking about it. I want to move on to competition in the internet marketing space, but I wanted to get that out there. I had to get it off my chest. I feel so much better now that I got it off my chest. Man, today is my wife and I's anniversary, so I can't spend too long on live stream today, but I wanted to take a little time and hang out with you guys. I've been married for 13 years now today. 13 years today I've been married. And this is the second time I've been married, right? I was married once before. It didn't take. That was a 6.5, 7-year marriage. But the second time's a charm. Second time's a charm. So listen, that's, my marriage history is proof that, like, don't give up after just once, right? Just get back up on the horse and try again. You know what I mean? Dust yourself off, try again, right? Like the song. Okay, so competition, internet marketing. Hell yeah, it's competitive. You guys know it's competitive out there. It's like a freaking blood sport, right? Look, let's look at the Warrior Plus market just as a microcosm of internet marketing, right? Facebook user says 13 in a row. Yeah, 13 in a row, man. 13 in a row today. 13 years in a row today. Now, what's really funny about that is lucky number 13 in 2020. That's like a double negative. This has been like the worst year ever. And 13 is supposed to be an unlucky number. But if you take two negatives, maybe we can pull a positive out of it, right? So anyways, yeah, I got a good one. My wife is amazing. And now you guys, anybody who's been watching me for a long time knows I don't ever really put my wife or my kids on camera because I signed up for this, right? Sometimes the internet can be cruel. Sometimes the internet can be a cruel place. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a judgy place. And I signed up for it, man. I signed up to put myself out here on display. My wife didn't sign up for that, and my kids are too young to, have to deal with any of that. So I don't put them on. I don't put them on for that reason. It's like a conscious decision. Hey, Mike, how's it going, man? Friday the 13th wasn't too bad either. That's true. This most recent Friday the 13th wasn't too bad. 53 years straight here, and it gets better. That's awesome, man. 53 years. Guys, we need to all give John York a hand. We need to all give John York a big thumb. Can you guys do me a favor and just thumbs up John York's comment about 53 years straight? Because that's amazing, man. That's a long time. And I don't know. It's like these last 13 years went by so fast. They went by so fast. Seems like just yesterday, my son was born. And, like just a little bean, and now all of a sudden, boom, 12 years old. So crazy. It goes by fast, don't it? It kind of goes by scary fast. You kind of get a little bit afraid of how fast it goes by, to be honest. Mike says, better now, thanks. That's awesome, man. That's good to hear, Mike. 13 is a great number. My daughter was born on the 13th. My whole view on the number changed. I bet it did, man. I bet it did. That's awesome. All right. Perfect. Big Lou Hornberger in the house. What's up, everybody? All right, guys. So let's look at Warrior Plus, just as like a microcosm of internet marketing. Now, we look at Warrior Plus. Lou says they hit 30 in June. That's amazing. 30 years in a row. Everybody give a thumbs up on Lou's comment, man. 30 years in a row. That's amazing. To stay married to someone for a long time, it requires a lot of compromise. And it requires, amazing? It requires the ability to not always have to be right. You know what I mean? It requires the ability to listen to what someone else is saying and to be able to have an open mind and compromise with people, right? It requires this after a while. Maybe in the very beginning, like you just get along like fantastically, but eventually, when you live with someone all the time and, you're raising kids and stuff, you're going to have disagreements from time to time. And, it takes compromise, right? It takes compromise and figuring it out like together, but it's fun, right? It's awesome. If you got the right person, it's good. It's great. That's my first wife. 39 years for us here. I love that emoji, Mike. I love that crazy face emoji. Man, that's how I feel every day with that crazy face. Man, I need a t-shirt with that emoji face on it right there. Every day. That's me. It's every day, bro. All right, man. I gotta let's get on with this, man. Let's get on with it. All right, so we're talking about competition and internet marketing. And is it too much? Is it too hard to make money here? Is there too much competition? And I was saying how, like, this is a blood sport. I mean, this is very competitive space in internet marketing. It feels like everyone's talking about the same stuff and everyone's struggling to differentiate, right? And just for an example, we can look at the Warrior Plus market and we can see how just that one microcosm is built on competition. That's the kind of thing that it fuels competition, right? You think about Warrior Plus. On Warrior Plus, when you log into Warrior Plus, the first thing you see is the top 10 products of the day, right? That is top 10 revenue generating products of the day, products that have generated the most revenue. So right off the bat, that puts product vendors in a competition with each other to move up that list. All right. When you look at the affiliates on Warrior Plus, they're all ranked by color, right? They're all ranked by number and color. They go from red, or they go from no color, which is like if it hadn't had any sales, all the way up to like a dark green, which is like fantastic. It's like super affiliate, right? But there's different colors. So like these different colors automatically like it puts you in this frame of mind like where you need to like get better. Like I need to get better. How do I climb up the ladder, man? How do I climb up the ladder? Right? So like it's kind of all like based on, and then you got, of course, you got deal of the day, right? You got deal of the day wins. People compete for winning on deal of the day. And just like the whole system, I could go on and on about the different ways that there's been competition that has been built into Warrior Plus purposefully to have the vendors and the affiliates competing, right? Vying for position, vying to be the best. The affiliate contests, that's another thing, affiliate contests. That's just one microcosm of internet marketing. The entire internet marketing space is like that. No, but that's just one little microcosm about it. So yes, it is very, very competitive. Competition is a funny thing, to be honest, though, because competition is largely like in the mind. Yeah, I mean, we have events, right? We have events like races and stuff like that in real life. The Super Bowl, like these are real things that happen. They're not like in the mind. But like when we look at competitions on Warrior Plus, when we look at competitions in internet marketing, we look at like, is this guy better than me? We both do the same thing. Is this person better than I am? There's a lot of things you can judge that on, and it's very much up here. It's not really out here. It's really a lot of how you perceive it. I want to dig into this a little bit deeper. Okay. Kuda says, do you think there's an unlimited pool of customers, or maybe one day we will hit a plateau? Because, for example, there's only so many gamers in the world, so you see a slowdown in sales for games consoles. Right. It's an interesting question, Kuda, and you know the fact of the matter is, of course, there's not an unlimited supply of customers. But one thing that you should definitely be aware of is that I think the internet marketing space is made up of a lot of repeat customers. There's a lot of return buyers. So it's smart. It's very, very smart when you do business in this space, especially to focus on extending the life of your customers. And there's several ways that you can extend the life of your customers. But there's a lot of repeat buyers here. In fact, I would say 70% repeat buyers. Maybe it's a little different now because of COVID-19, and we have an influx of new people coming on board because of the global pandemic, and people are rethinking how they want to make money. But in a normal time, probably like 70% repeat buyers, right? There's a lot of repeat buyers. And then that leads into all kinds of other questions like, you know, why are so many people repeat buyers? How come they're not buying training and stuff like that? And then all of a sudden the buyers are becoming the sellers. How come that's not happening more? How come people just lounge around at the bottom and just buy, and nothing ever happens? They just continue to buy. That's like a whole nother discussion we could have. But there's a lot of repeat buyers, a lot of customers that buy again and again and again. I don't think we're ever going to hit a plateau, Kuda. Well, I mean, look, we're not going to hit a plateau as long as people like to make money, and as long as people like to make easy money, right? Easy money, because that's really what this is about. You know, this is about like since way before the internet, right? Since the days of P.T. Barnum when he put out his money getting book, right? People have always been interested in how do I make money in a way that's like easier than like digging these ditches, right? Like, how do I make money in a way that's not like going to this factory and like putting these cars together? Because, bro, that ain't it. That ain't it. I'm tired of doing that. Like maybe like when you're in high school, there's like a novelty of just being able to get a job, right? And then you know how that was, right? You were in high school, you wanted to get a job, nobody would hire you because you didn't have any experience, and then all of a sudden like this burger place hires you, and now you're flipping burgers, and the novelty wears off after about like 2 weeks. And now you're like, this ain't it, man. I need a better way to make money because this ain't it. You know, ever since that has been going on, people have been looking for, you know, easier ways to make money. And like this idea of the internet is like, man, that's just like the easiest way, right? Oh, I get to make money from my house? For real? This is going to be sweet, right? Everybody wants to do that. But the problem is with making money from your house, man, a lot of times when you're making money from your house, it requires a little bit of a discipline, right? Because now you're like running your own business. Now you got to like figure all this extra stuff out that you didn't have to do before. Your bosses used to tell you to show up at 9 a.m., do this, and this, and then like you're going to leave at 3 p.m. Make sure you clock in, make sure you clock out. That was it. Nice and simple, right? But it's like a lot different. Like when you're working for yourself from home, there's all these other little disciplines you have to figure out. And it's different. So I think to answer your question, no, there's not an unlimited pool of customers, but there's a lot of repeat customers. So it's important to extend the life of your customer. I don't think we're going to hit a plateau unless the world drastically changes, like more than it has changed right now. If the world changes in a way to where like we don't use money anymore and there's no way to get ahead, then we could hit a plateau, right? Then things would change for the worst. In the world of gaming, it's not really my lane. But for example, there's only so many gamers in the world. You slow down in sales for game consoles. I don't think they use these consoles enough. I think personally, man, they just put out these Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. First of all, why did they name them things so closely to the other ones? There's an Xbox One Series X. No, wait. There's an Xbox One X. Then there's an Xbox One S, right? And now they got an Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. I mean, who named those things? They need to fire that guy. That's absolutely ridiculous. Do you know how many confused parents are going to be walking around bewildered this Christmas because they don't know the difference between an Xbox One X and an Xbox Series X? I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, what in the world? I mean, Sony's got it right, PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. Hey, man, nice and simple. Sony's got it together. I'm getting off on a wild tangent, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's what I'd say about that, Let me answer a couple questions and I'll move on with this thing. I don't like those who blatantly copy, not even trying to repurpose or rewrite. I hear you. Man. Yeah, there's a lot of copycats out there. Hey, Hen Han Chi, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well out there. Calm down, Grandpa. Exactly. That's right. Listen, so competition is definitely real in the internet marketing space. But how you react to the competition is completely up here. Okay. It's completely up here. I want you to consider something. All right. When it comes to information products, let's just take information products as an example. When it comes to information products, think about how we consume information. Like, I don't want to consume. Let me ask you guys a question. When you read books, did you like choose an author that you really loved? And then like you just read from that author? Like that's the only author you read from? Or do you like read from different authors? Like if you decide that you like fantasy, science fiction, whatever, like do you just read like, whoever, pick your favorite author. I've read like a ton of science fiction fantasy books, but I'm not going to name a bunch of obscure authors for you guys. But do you just read from the one author or do you read from multiple authors? Like, do you test the water? Man, I love science fiction. What else is good out there? What else is good? What else is going on out there that's good? Right? We don't consume information like that, whether it's like information for fun, like science fiction or fantasy, or whether it's information for learning. We don't consume information like that. As much as people tell you like, hey, listen, just find one person and just learn from that person and don't learn too much from too many different people. To do that, it kind of betrays our very nature. Like, we tend to learn from multiple places. If we're trying to learn about email marketing, for instance, you're not just going to learn from me. I mean, you're going to learn from me. You're going to learn from this guy. You're going to learn from that guy. You're going to keep on looking around until you find something that really resonates with you. And then you're going to be on that for a little while. And then guess what? Even if it really resonates with you, guess what? You're going to move on and you're going to find something else. Why? Because that's just the nature of who we are, right? We educate ourselves from multiple sources. That's just how we are. That's who we are. That's how we operate, right? And I think that really just it really kind of overflows into other things besides education, to be honest. I remember, like, I've changed my viewpoint on this a few times. I remember back when I was like, man, I don't really want to do a lot of affiliate marketing because I don't want to, like, be promoting a bunch of other people's stuff. Then all of a sudden, all my leads are going to go on their list, and I'm going to create all this competition for myself, right? Now, that is true. However, this is also true. Most of those people are probably on their lists anyway. Like, that competition is there. You don't have to create it. It's already there. And the fact of the matter is, when I lift others up, I am lifting myself up as well. All right. Now, that sounds really weird, doesn't it? When I lift others up, I'm also lifting myself up. It's a little strange, but what it is it's leveraging goodwill. All right. It's leveraging goodwill. Because the fact is, and what I had to figure out was, this isn't a zero-sum game. It's not like, oh, you messed up, now you're going to lose. It's not like that. This isn't the Super Bowl here. You know, we're not playing a game where someone's going to walk away the winner and someone's going to walk away the loser. That's not how this game works. It's not like a zero-sum game. Like, there's room for more than one person to win, right? So, like, I can actually, like, I teach a lot about email marketing, and I can promote someone else who teaches about email marketing, right? I can do it. You might think, oh, dude, aren't you afraid they're going to poach your customers? Aren't you afraid they're going to poach your customers? Like, you know what? Am I afraid they're going to poach my customers? It sounds counterproductive, but no, it sounds counterintuitive, but no, I'm not afraid that they're going to poach my customers. The fact is, my customers are already going to be looking for alternate sources of information for email marketing. It's not like my customers just decided, okay, Cam's an expert on email marketing. I'm only going to listen to what Cam has to say. I'm not going to listen to anybody else now. Cam is going to be my only source of information for email marketing. Dude, I'm not that good. All right. I'm good at email marketing, but I'm not the great. There are things I don't know. Like, I don't know everything. I know some things. I've made a living from being a few steps of the people. I've made a living out of being a few steps ahead of the people I'm trying to help. Right. And I'm helping them get to those few steps where I'm at. Right. But I don't know everything. I believe that if you take somebody and you look at somebody and you notice, like, this person is always sharing valuable information that's coming from different places, right? If I'm sharing something that's always coming from different places, right? And you notice that I'm always sharing cool things that are coming from different places, different people, different sources, and I'm introducing you to these different things, different books, different I am gurus, different marketers, different, articles, different this, different that. And I'm introducing these things to you. That's going to shape your perception of me. Like, I'm changing the narrative of myself, right? So that's why I say, like, when you elevate someone else up, when you lift someone else up, you're also lifting yourself up. It's just like when you try to drag someone else down, like, you're also dragging yourself down. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not too, like, I hope I'm not getting too new age on you guys there. I'm not trying to be new age. As new age as this might sound, it's actually very practical. It makes sense. I've lived it. I wouldn't have believed it if I haven't lived it. But when you lift others up, you're also lifting yourself up. You are shaping a narrative about yourself when you share things with people. Okay, when you talk about other people and you lift them up and you do that over and over again, you're also creating a narrative about yourself, right? So people notice that, right? We notice that, right? Think about it. You notice it. I notice it. Um, there's a marketer that I really, really like. I look up to him in a lot of ways, like Rich Sheffrin, and he's always doing these live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays in his group, Strategic Profits. He's really, really good, and like what I notice about Rich is Rich is super smart, but Rich is always like dropping the names of books that he's read and authors that he likes. And like I've started to try to keep a list, like a book list of some of these books that I'd like to read that he's name dropped. And I was thinking about it, and it's like it's not just about those books, is it? Because that's shaping my opinion of Rich. Because as he's name dropping all these books, like I'm thinking, like, damn man, this dude has read so many awesome books. Like this dude is an avid book reader. He knows all the good books. But like that perception is being shaped just because he's sharing that information, right? He's lifting those authors up, right? So it's shaping my perception of him. So that's why I say, when you lift others up, you're also lifting yourself up. Let me get some of these comments and we'll move on. When I find an author, I read all they got. Binge read. Now, how do you do that when you get to those authors of those big, thick books, man? Like I was reading Wheel of Time. I used to read this. One of my favorite science fiction fantasy books is called Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. He writes these big, thick books, man. It's hard to read all those things. It takes a while. Tom Clancy, then Harry Turtledove. There you go. There you go. John says, once I read one Jack Reacher novel, I had to read them all. Man, I didn't know that was novels, dude. I didn't know that was novels. That was a movie. I saw that movie with Tom Cruise in it. It was killer. I love that movie. Now I got to check these novels out, John. You taught me something today, man. I learned something new today. I have to check these novels out. When I first started reading, I read all the Malcolm Gladwell first. Then because of marketing, started reading more based on TOEICs. Okay, all right. I love Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell's great, man. Malcolm Gladwell, one of my favorite books. This is my favorite book by Malcolm Gladwell. He wrote a book called Outliers. And if you haven't read Outliers, you should definitely check it out. It's really, really cool. It's all about like the story of why some people are successful and why other people are not successful, and how like people who are successful, sometimes they've had these inherent advantages. Like, for instance, like for example, like kids, it's been like kind of proven that kids that start school a little bit later actually have an advantage over kids that start school earlier. Like let's say a kid that starts school when he's like 6 versus 5 or whatever. Like he has an advantage over the kid that starts school earlier because like in every grade, especially those early grades, his brain's more advanced. He's physically stronger and he's just doing better, right? He's just doing better at every step of the way. He's just getting ahead, further and further ahead. Just from that one little tiny thing of just starting school a year later. It's a really cool book. You should check it out. Or like there's another one in there about how like the Chinese alphabet, it's the Chinese alphabet is like easier to learn for kids than the American alphabet or some of these other alphabets. And as a result, this minor little things. As a result, it made it much easier for Asian kids to get good at math, right? In the younger years, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. So they don't develop this bias of hating math like a lot of American kids do. I don't know, man. It's just a really cool book. But thanks for bringing that up, Facebook user. If you let StreamYard have this little thing where you click on it and it'll like you give them like some kind of little permission or something. I think it's just something about this signing like a part of your soul away. StreamYard only wants a small part of your soul, Facebook user, and then you can show your name and face, and people see who you are. But it's just a small portion of your soul. It doesn't cost much. Okay, it's worth it. We've all done it. We've all taken the name of the beast, the number of the beast. No, I'm just kidding, man. But drop your name and I'll stop calling you Facebook user. It's starting to feel awkward. It's starting to get to this weird awkward place now. Rising tide lifts all ships. Yeah, it does. Truth. Yep. Cam is the well. I don't know about that. Hey, listen, guys. I try to be honest with you guys. I try to give you my real opinions on things. That's what I try to do. If I've had experiences with things that have helped me, if I see things that I think are happening, like with the YouTube thing, I will say something about it. And I try to just give good advice that helps people. So, but thank you, Lou. I know you mean that tongue in cheek. Mike Hurd, hey, sorry, got to drop here. I'll catch your replay. Thanks for everything. Of course, man. Good to hear from you, Mike. I'll catch you on the flip flop. Wheel of Time was awesome. Yeah, it was. Yeah, man, that was a great series. See, I haven't read them all. I haven't got to the part yet where the new author took over. I think Ryan Sandberg, I think was his name. The new author took over after Robert Jordan died. And he finished them up for him, which I think was a beautiful thing. I'm so glad that series got finished. But yeah, I haven't gotten to read all those yet. So, but I've read a lot of them. I think I've read 9 of them or something. P.S. Meet the author Lee Child at a book signing. Met the author Lee Child at a book signing. That's awesome. Topics. TOEICs was a misspell. Okay, I gotcha. I figured there was a little misspell there. Jack Reacher is 6'5", not 4'6". How they ran that film, I don't know. Yeah, that's funny, man. If you want to read what many say Wheel series is based on, read the Sword of Truth series. Great stuff. I'll have to check that out, man. Sword of Truth. We've all sold our souls to Facebook. Tracy Quinn says, we've all sold our souls to Facebook already. So just as well let StreamYard in. Yeah. I know, man. Dang. Stupid companies. John O'York. I started at 4.5, but moved around a lot, including 6 months in Canada, 4 different UK schools, but I still passed 13 GCSEs. Normal was 5 to 8. I worked hard, but was still a UK counties discus champion at 15. Love to learn. That's awesome, man. You started at 4.5? That's crazy, man. That's really good. Good job, John. That's awesome. Lee Childs wrote the Jack Reacher's novel. I'll have to check them out for sure. I'll have to check them out. Thanks for that, guys. Okay, so yeah, I mean, look, I guess the thing I was trying to say, guys, is it's important to leverage goodwill. You know, humans are dynamic, especially when it comes to education. And yeah, you know, it is very competitive in the internet marketing space, and it is very, very easy to feel like it's getting too damn hot in the kitchen. It's too hot in the kitchen, man. I need to find like a more quiet niche without so much competition. It's easy to feel like that, but a lot of that is like mental, right? A lot of that is happening in your head. Not that the competition isn't real, but just like the way you perceive it can be changed, and you can use that competition to your advantage and not to your detriment. I want to give you a little bit of a quote here. So the rapper, not just rapper, business guy, mogul, entrepreneur, Jay-Z. You guys know Jay-Z probably. So he did an interview a few years ago with Breakfast Club, and I thought this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. I'm not counting Theodore Roosevelt, because Theodore Roosevelt's one of my favorite people. I was just watching a documentary about Roosevelt last night, but not counting that. Jay-Z's one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite quotes by someone when it comes. And I love this quote because it's about the 24-hour news cycle and the fast pace that we live in today. So they were asking him. They said, "Hey man, do you feel like people consume music too fast? Because you create like these amazing moments, but the moment is fleeting. As soon as you put out the album, it's like." Then someone else comes along, puts another one out. Someone else comes along, puts another one out. I mean, you got to remember, these artists will spend like 6 months to a year putting an album together, a good album. They work really, really hard on it. They spend a lot of money. They invest a lot of money in the album. They work really hard on it. Many hours and hours and hours go into the album, right? Then they put it out. Then, like, as soon as they put it out, like the next week, boom, there's something else coming out. And they were just kind of speaking to the fact that people don't stay on albums like they used to. They don't stay on songs like they used to. They hear it, they're into it for the day, and then by tomorrow they're on to something else, right? And Jay-Z says to that, he says, yeah, again, it's the time we are in. We have to figure out, I mean, it's up to the individual to figure out how to slow it down because, it's just going faster and faster. Everything is moving quicker and quicker. Information is going quicker. Again, like you said, these great things are fleeting. They're going faster and faster. It's up to the individual to slow it down and be like, okay, I'm living with this album. This is what I choose to ride to. This is going to be the soundtrack of my life for these next couple of months. You know what I'm saying? That's an individual thing. I'm not going to let anybody speed up my process. I don't care what's happening out there. That's the great thing about, having the ultimate confidence in yourself. It doesn't matter what's happening. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what you're on or this person's on. This is what I like, My life is tailor-made for me. That's what he said, and I love that because he's basically saying, hey, listen, nobody's going to control the narrative of my life. And I always think about that quote whenever I think that the internet marketing space is getting too competitive. There's too much competition. People are coming from all sides. Everybody's got an angle. And it seems like, like there's 20 Mike Filsains, there's 35 Ryan Dices, like every popular marketer you can think of, it seems like there's 50 more people on the come up that are almost just like them. They're like cookie cutouts or something. And even if they're not cookie cutouts, there's tons of marketers coming out with their own angles every single day. New people there's an influx of new people figuring out how to do Facebook ads and figuring out how to do this and figuring out how to do that. And it's a lot, right? It's a lot. But I really kind of love that quote about, the ultimate confidence and not letting anybody control the narrative of what you're doing, right? Just kind of doing your own thing and living your life tailor-made for you, right? I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And I think that's really how I want to end this one today. Just reminding everybody that you can leverage goodwill. The competition is real, but it's up here how you handle it and perceive it, and you can turn the competition into a strength, and you have to find a way to control the narrative of your career path and internet marketing. I hope that helps, guys. I hope that makes sense. If you like this video, share the video. By the way, I am launching a product on Monday. If you haven't heard, it's going to be on the legendary Warrior Plus network. It is my first official, well, not my first official, it's a PLR release. And it's about newsletters it's called Newsletters on Substack. It's on Warrior Plus. Just hit me up if you want to know more information about it. I'm going to get it out there. It's we're getting close to Thanksgiving. I'm not going to do this giant recruitment phase for it. I just have a very humble goal of 100 units that I'm gonna try to push on it, and I just want to get it out there for people. So let me read some of these comments before I wrap this one up. All right, cool. All right, guys. I think that's about it. Does anybody have anything they want to promote? Anybody have anything they want to drop a website or anything before we get out of here? I'll get it up on screen for you. This is being streamed to a few different places. It's being streamed on YouTube and on Facebook and a couple of Facebook groups. Oh, thanks a lot, Tracy. As always, guys, it's an honor and a pleasure hanging out with you guys, talking to you guys, especially like in this year of 2020. It has been so crazy and so weird. I mean, we are all just like blessed just to be able to be here and just kick back on a live stream and hang out and share a laugh for a little bit. So yeah, it's an honor and a blessing, and I appreciate all of you. Thanks so much for hanging out, and enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace, everybody.